The room is pitch black. The house is completely silent. It's just you alone with your thoughts. The air feels heavy, doesn't it? In this explainer, we're going to dive into a psychological scene that I guarantee you know all too well. It's 3 a.m. The rest of the world is deep in sleep, but not you. Your eyes are wide open, just staring blankly at the ceiling. Why are you awake? Well, suddenly, out of nowhere, your brain forces you to remember. Without asking for your permission, it digs up a file from the absolute darkest corner of your mind. And it's usually just a harmless mistake, something so tiny, like the time you accidentally called your teacher mom in the 3rd grade, or maybe when you totally tripped over your own feet on the dance floor a dozen years ago. A momentary slip, just a tiny, insignificant blip in time. But your brain, it just won't let it go. You lie there in the dark, and your stomach literally drops. A sudden flush of hot shame hits your face. You are physically cringing, completely alone in your room, agonizing over an event from a decade ago. An event that, let's be honest, absolutely nobody else on Earth even remembers. So why? Why does your brain torture you with memories everyone else forgot? Is it a glitch in your hardware? Is there something fundamentally wrong with you? No, you aren't broken. What you're experiencing is actually a very ancient error detection program, and it is running silently and relentlessly, right in the background of your mind. It's called an amygdala hijack. Basically, it's an immediate, totally overwhelming emotional takeover. It completely bypasses the logical part of your brain. You see, to your ancient ancestors, being embarrassed meant being rejected by the tribe, and rejection, that meant starvation. It meant death. So today, your brain is still treating a simple, awkward social moment like a physical, lethal threat to your actual survival. When you recall that deeply cringe-inducing moment, the exact same regions in your brain light up as if you were physically bleeding. Your mind honestly doesn't know the difference between a broken arm and a bruised ego. It hurts. Literally, the pain is real. Psychologists often describe the human brain as being like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. Your brain literally marks embarrassing moments as a matter of life and death. It stores them in multiple regions just to guarantee you never ever make that mistake again. It is hurting you intentionally just to keep you alive. But it actually goes even deeper than that. Think of them as emergency drills in the dark. During REM sleep, when your body's supposed to be resting and repairing, your brain is working the night shift. It rehearses social threats. It asks, okay, but what if we get embarrassed again tomorrow? You aren't just remembering the pain. In that moment, you are literally reliving it. You're caught in a really brutal psychological trap known as the spotlight effect. It's this agonizing tendency to vastly overestimate how much other people notice your mistakes. Your inner critic convinces you that the spotlight is blindingly bright and it's pointed directly at you. The whole world is watching, waiting, and judging your every single move. But look at what you think they noticed versus what they actually noticed. When you make a mistake, you instantly assume half the room is deeply judging you. The statistical reality, barely anyone even looked up. A week later, almost nobody remembers it happened. But your brain completely ignores the truth. It's utterly convinced everyone remembers, purely because you remember. Really, think about it for a second. Can you remember the last time someone else did something super embarrassing? Try to think of one specific time a friend tripped or stuttered badly or called someone the wrong name this past year. You probably can't, and that's because other people are way too busy obsessing over their own mistakes to store memories of yours. Yet, your mind just keeps spinning, doesn't it? Pulling you downward into this dark cycle of guilt. First comes the should, that crushing, heavy demand for perfection based entirely on what you assume others expect of you. Then comes whatever action you take. And finally, unavoidable guilt. It's an inescapable loop of conditional self-love. Your inner critic demands absolute flawless perfection, and no matter what you actually do, you feel like you've failed. If I do this, only then am I worthy of self-respect and love. Think about that tight, suffocating weight in your chest when you feel you've let someone down. You are literally carrying their emotional baggage for them. You're making your fundamental worth as a human being totally dependent on someone else's approval. So why do we do this to ourselves? Well, it's actually hardwired into something called the default mode network. It's a brain circuit that automatically directs harsh negative self-talk straight at you. It criticizes you to keep you safely aligned with the group. It genuinely believes that if it beats you up internally first, the outside world won't be able to hurt you.
Why did I say that? Everyone thinks I'm a fool. How many times has that exact thought echoed in your mind at night? This psychological defense mechanism completely traps your attention. It locks you in this endless, agonizing room of self judgment, completely preventing you from feeling the real vulnerability hiding underneath it all. Just the simple human desire to belong.
But there is a way to break the echo. You have to complete the file. You see, when you cringe at a bad memory, you almost always stop the movie at the absolute worst possible second. The stumble, the awkward, heavy silence. You hit pause on the tape at the exact moment of maximum pain. Instead, you need to add the ending. Say to yourself, and then I went home and watched TV. Your brain keeps replaying the terrible memory because it thinks the threat is still active and unresolved. By actively forcing yourself to remember the boring, totally safe reality of what happened immediately after, you signal to your brain that you survived. The threat is gone. The file can finally be closed.
And when the panic first hits you out of nowhere, give it 6 seconds. Literally count it out. If you can just pause, take a breath, and ground yourself for 6 seconds, those panic chemicals in your brain physically begin to diffuse. The internal alarm bells start to quiet down. You can actually stop the hijack before it pulls you under the water.
Just think about the tragic irony of being human. If a close friend makes a mistake, what do? You comfort them. You offer them boundless, warm compassion. But when you make that exact same mistake, you completely deny yourself that grace. You become ruthless.
Which leads us to a very quiet, very unsettling truth. Sometimes, the person judging you the absolute hardest
Is the voice inside your own head. The world has moved on. The people you think are watching you so closely have already forgotten. You're the only one keeping the trial alive. You are your own harshest critic. It's time to let the memory go. Let yourself sleep.